through the left side, base hit. Downing is in to score, and DVC walk it off.
Chest high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the goal route. Has him in the middle. Intercepted. Intercepted to get it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it. 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counterattack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward, looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California.
Welcome to the Pregame Show. My name is Max Agrest, talking to Diablo Valley College football head coach Jimmy Collins. So we'll get right into it, Coach. Last week's game ended in a hard-fought 30-27 overtime loss on the road at Foothold College. It was a bit of a roller coaster. While the defense played outstanding ball most of the game, forcing 4 interceptions, 5 sacks, and making several key goal line stands, the turnover bug really hit the offense and special teams unit again. 6 fumbles, 4 of them lost alongside 2 interceptions. And so with those turnovers being such a big storyline, how do you keep the team focused on playing complementary football, and especially when fumbles have just played such a massive role in losses this year?
It's a great question. And what we're working on right now is executing as well as we can and controlling what we can control. And I think you alluded to a lot of things that summarize the game well. I think the biggest takeaway we had as a program was how hard we played from beginning to end and how positive we stayed throughout the ups and the downs, and the unique finish with, I'd say the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter took 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was unique to say the least. And in regard to the turnover bug, I mean, you can address it all you want, and it's starting to become almost comical, and that's not really a great thing to say. I mean, we had 1 fumble and I just had to turn around and laugh because it was like, wow, it's a different guy almost every time. And I know we had 1 player have 2 this weekend, but leading up to this game, and I think if you were going to use a few words to describe our season when this year is over, fumbling is going to be a word that we use. It's something we need to work on in regard to how we just simply carry the football, and that's been the emphasis. I think guys are starting to see it because it's not the same person that fumbles every week typically, and so now that it's kind of hit everybody at some point, the reality is set in of we're not holding the football in a fundamentally sound way, and it's been something we've been preaching for quite some time. I think it's really about the only area that's taken a while for our guys to really execute in a manner that's consistent with what we've been preaching as a program for quite some time. And you'd like to think now that maybe it's going to hit home a little bit more, but now what you're starting to see is our opponents are very aware of it as well. And one of the fumbles was simply the play was over. We had 3-4 guys on top of our ball carrier, and 3 of those 4 guys were just ripping at the ball, and the officials never blew the play dead, and the ball came out. And not that the refs should have, I'm just saying it was just progress was stopped, and all Foothill did was have everyone ripping up the ball, and that's what we should expect to see from Laney and San Francisco and whomever we see in the postseason, just ripping up the ball. And so we need to be aware of it. And I think like any issue you have, identifying it, acknowledging it, and then providing steps to improve it, and then executing those steps, that's all part of the process. And I think so far we've done everything, and now the last part is executing how to simply carry the ball properly.
Talking a little bit about going into the fourth quarter. So that third quarter was obviously the one that was, it almost felt insurmountable at some times. So in that final drive of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, you end up getting a score on the drive right on the goal line, but you lose key players like center Ben Florkowski, guard Charlie Kruger, and quarterback Teddy Boris. Do you have any updates on their status, and just how do you adjust to their potential absence?
I think the roller, you described the second half as a roller coaster, and it sure was, from, going in with, you feel like you're in a pretty good spot with a 7-point lead with a little bit of time left in the second quarter, and then you fumble and they get a field goal out of it after an amazing goal line stop by our defense. And you go into the second half, the 4-point lead, getting the ball, and you turn it over right out the gate, and with a fumble, and then you get back and you throw a pick, and then they score, and then we fumble, and then we stop them on 4th and goal, and well after the play is over, a
Yeah, the
face
face mask.
mask
Oh,
but it really was quite a blow to have such a momentous stop, and it just kind of give them a free set of downs. And then you're right, you're down 10, and you lose your starter, and Teddy's gonna be out for the year. His collarbone's broken. And then yeah, then you lose Ben and Charlie. I forget which order that was in, and
I think it was
Charlie's
Ben
back.
first and then Charlie second.
Yeah, and so Charlie will be back for sure. Ben's fighting, and so trying to figure some things out to get him to be able to play tomorrow night. I mean, knowing Ben, I do know this. Ben is going to suit up and do everything he can to play as for as long as he can and as well as he can, and we just have to figure it out as we go. And Charlie again, he was back full practice yesterday, and like anything at this time of the year, when you get to November, every person in your program has to be ready to contribute. And I think guys did a fantastic job, starting with Isaiah Newton, coming in. I'm sure you were going to, bring him up at some point. But the guys in the offensive line that came in, and it's not just coming in, it's, a guy comes in, you start shuffling position, a guard goes to center, you guys start moving around. And that's what we're going to have to do here to get, for this next month or so as we finish this up, is just play Ironman football, in the sense that it's got to be the best 11 available at the time, got to be on the field. And if you're number 12, you got to know that your time is probably coming sooner than later. And we got to go. But in regard to how you handle the adversity, our guys have been throwing challenges all of 2024. I mean, most of this team didn't have a coach for the first half of the year. There's no coach. I mean, so, the coaching staff gets here in June, and nothing but challenges that we throw at them in regard to, establishing standards and procedures and how we're going to do things. And we take one on the chin week 1 and go on the road. We're down 14. What do? We win. And you get on you go on, you lose one here, you win one here. And there's been nothing but challenges that our guys have risen, but our guys have risen to the challenge every time. And you saw that last week at Foothill, where yeah, you're down 10 and you lose 3 starters on that drive while
Yeah.
down 10, but you score at the end of that drive and get the ball back, and you score again to take the lead. And uh, obviously we fell short in overtime, but that's just that's sometimes how the ball bounces.
What can we really expect to see out of the quarterback situation? Will it be a offense primarily driven by Isaiah Newton, or will we see some Sanders and Newton action like we saw Boris and Newton last week?
They will start tomorrow night, and Marcus is ready to go as well to play. I think going forward, Isaiah is going to be the guy, with Marcus ready to play complementary football. And the way Isaiah plays, like a lot of skill players, sometimes those guys need a breather. It's crazy to think for a quarterback, but the same reason, couple, more than one running back tends to play. It's why you see a variety of receivers going in and out. Is there's just gonna be some times, the nature of the way Isaiah plays, and that he's gonna need a rest. It's just a reality. And then also Marcus does a lot of really good things that we want to take advantage of as well. We're gonna get creative here down the stretch, but fortunately both guys, Marcus and Isaiah, are very dialed into what we do offensively. We don't have to change things. In some ways, Isaiah allows us to expand the playbook because of his dual threat ability. But the reality is, no quarterback is worth their weight if they can't stand in the pocket and throw it. And both guys can. And both guys have really live arms. Isaiah's arm is live and accurate. He's an extremely accurate passer that's starting to play with a lot of confidence. And so I'm really excited. And I think the entire program is not just excited to see what Isaiah can do. I think everyone's really excited that he's getting a chance to do it. He's really earned it. And you talk about a guy that's had a lot of obstacles his way and throughout his career, and this season, he'd be at the top of the list. And here he is right now, despite all the things that would have prevented a lot of guys from being where he is right now. He is standing where he is, nice and proud and ready to go lead our team.
Looking forward to tonight's matchup, Laney and DVC have shown tremendous defensive prowess so far this season. What stands out to you about the defensive scheme that Laney runs, and where do you feel like you might be able to take those opportunities to exploit that defense, especially with Newton, like you said, with all his terrific abilities?
Laney's pretty fast and athletic. They have the ability to do a variety of things on defense. Obviously, they have a base structure that they're going to I would imagine, start out in and hang their hat on, but they have the ability to be pretty multiple and blitz you in a variety of ways. They haven't shown this season on tape some of the exotic blitzes that we know they have available to them. So what it's going to come down to for us, it was this simple. It is we know and have proven that we can beat anybody in the state of California on any day. But we've also shown that when we don't play up to our standard, anybody can beat us. And so right now, our focus is, obviously being aware of what Laney does, and that's going to dictate the plan and the plays that you call. But what it comes down to is how we execute them and honestly how hard we play, because we believe strongly that you can overcome a lot just by playing hard. And I know that sounds almost like a cliche, but our guys have seen it this year where we've overcome mental or execution mistakes simply by playing hard. And I think our guys are really excited. These guys really care about finishing the season the right way, earning a bowl game, and going to win a trophy for our college. And that's what's really cool is we still have an opportunity to go win a trophy to bring home for our college. And frankly, we know that in regards to where our program stands in Diablo Valley College football, we still have an opportunity to have this be one of the best seasons in recent memory, and especially since they've been in the A League, since we've been up in the A League. And so we are really excited to get a chance to go play on a Friday night against a quality program that's close to home. And everyone knows that Laney and Diablo Valley is always a tough game, always a good game, always a Friday night game. So
Mhm.
it's an exciting, it's an exciting deal that we're just really excited to get a chance to go bounce back and play at a high level because we genuinely know as a program and this is what we've talked a lot about this week is we genuinely believe that we have the ability to be the state champions. We genuinely believe that we have the mental ability to be the state champions, but we didn't perform during certain situations when opportunities presented themselves. We didn't perform as state champions. And so right now that's out of the mix. That's not in the cards. We understand that, but we also know who we are and we know who we can be. And we understand that we have an opportunity to control what we control down this final stretch to play the brand of football that we know we are capable of playing. And so even though we're sitting here as a 500 ball club we had ambitions of being an undefeated ball club, but we know we have that ability. And we also know that we control our own destiny in regard to creating our identity of what the 2024 Vikings, kind of who we are and who we were as we look back on things. Or since we control all of these things, we are really excited to get an opportunity to go play the brand of football we know we are capable of playing, and we know we're capable of it because we have done it. And now we just, as we get a little bit more mature and our large group of true freshmen are getting into the last part of their freshman year and becoming more savvy vets, now we expect to see more consistent football across the board, and to get a chance to do it on a Friday night for Diablo Valley College is pretty exciting.
Last but not least, it's going to be sophomore night at home, last home game of the year. How much of a factor do you think that's going to play into it?
I'll be honest, I don't know very much. I know it's, I think we could be playing this game in a parking lot in Fresno against Laney. It don't matter. It's getting an opportunity to go play and do things the right way and play hard. I've been coaching junior college football now 16 years, and you walk into a lot of meetings on Mondays, and you get to November, the fate of the season is not necessarily decided, but you know where it's at. You walk into these meetings on Mondays when the ultimate prize of being a state champion is realistically not in the cards anymore. You walk into a room that you really are, as a head coach, optimistic that you're going to have everyone's attentions and chests are up and guys are going to be excited to go practice hard. And but that's, I mean, no matter how hard you preach, no matter how great your camaraderie as a team is, that's not always going to be the case. And when I walked in there Monday, everyone's where they always are, chest up, eyes up, ready to go, acknowledging that we got to be better, but we know we are better. Practice this week has been just on fire. I'm just saying from experience, when you get to this point of the year and you're practicing and playing the way that our guys are, it doesn't matter what stadium we play in, it doesn't matter what opponent we have. We're just excited to get more opportunities as a group to go out and compete against others. To have our sophomores do it for the last time in Viking Stadium is obviously awesome, but honestly, we're hoping to host a bowl game. So we're hoping this ain't the last game in Viking Stadium for these sophomores, and we hope we go out with a trophy in December. And that's still very much in the cards, and that is something we're going to be playing hard for tonight.
Thank you so much, Coach, for your time, and we'll be back on the other side of this break here with starting lineups in kickoff on
And we are live here on our pregame show. We're going to quickly go through it because kickoff is on our way in just a few moments. We'll get to the starters real quick, and we'll start with Laney College. Laney College, you can see their starters. Drayon Paul will get another start for the Eagles. He is going to be one of the guys that you got to look out for alongside Zach Norton. These guys want to run the football, and they will try to run it down your throat the entirety of the game. On the other side of the field for the Vikings, a few different shuffles in the lineup. The biggest one here, Isaiah Newton getting the start for the Vikings. A starter a season ago before the injury, and we'll talk more about Newton as the game goes on. So now we're out here on the field. The Vikings won the toss, they deferred, and we'll get this one started here at Viking Stadium. Vikings coming into this one, they're 4-4 on the season after dropping a tough one in overtime to Foothill College. And on the other side, Foothill College coming off a 35-0 victory over San Joaquin Delta down in Stockton. The kick fielded down at the far hash mark. And the returner will take it out the 15-yard line, out to the 20-yard line, breaks a tackle out to the 30, and he's hawked down from behind to the 34-yard line. A 33-yard return on the play, and it's a little difficult to see these numbers here with the gray and white. That is going to be number 19 on the return for the Eagles. That's Bryce Hecker, the defensive back, on what I believe to be his first of the game. We'll fix up the camera in just a moment. That's running our scoreboard. We got a shorthanded staff today, so please work with us here. But as I was talking about before, Drayon Paul will be the quarterback coming out here. The 6-foot sophomore from McClymonds High School, getting the offense started for the Eagles, working left to right in the white tops. And it's a play-action fake off the fingertips of his intended receiver. And that was the 6', 175 freshman Luke Beatty as the intended receiver. Only 2 catches on the year for Beatty, so trying to get other players involved early on. But the ball from the 34-yard line, working left to right, black tops, white jerseys with the gray bottoms in the gray numerals. It'll be a little bit difficult to see today, but we'll get you going as well. Vikings on the other side, green tops, green bottoms with the green helmets and the white numerals. Drayon Paul motioning Samaje Featherstone across the formation. It's a handoff this time, trying to squeeze through guard and center, and that hole was stuffed inside by the Vikings defense. A stout start to the Vikings, and it's 3rd down and 9.5 yards now. David Johnson, number 89, making the tackle. And I believe the running back on the play was Zachary Norton, number 39. Like I mentioned before, these jerseys are a bit difficult to read from up here in the booth. So on 3rd down and 9 from the 35-yard line, it's Drayon Paul once more, head high snap, sprints out to his right-hand side, whips it into the flat, and it's caught at the 41-yard line. Not much yardage after the play, however, as the ball was thrown to J.P. Zamora. Zamora makes it a just about 4th down and 3 after being escorted out of bounds by Wesley Garten. And the punt unit will come out, so the Vikings will get the 3 and out. Just the way you want to get this one started. You do have to worry about a situation in which a fake punt might be coming here, but with a talented punter on the roster like Brandon Niermeyer, you expect him to punt this away and live to fight another down. That's number 3, David Piero, deep to return. The ball's mishandled, and then it pops right back into the hands, and this won't be fair caught by David Piero, and David Piero does not actually call a fair catch. Instead, he'll churn his way forward to the 34-yard line after a gain of 4 on the play. There was actually one man deeper than Piero that I didn't see, but Piero was the one that got it anyways. Number 48 makes the tackle on the play, Juan Grasso. And that'll give us a fresh look at what Isaiah Newton has in store. So it's Isaiah Newton alongside Ferrari Miller in the backfield, working right to left for the Vikings here, between the hash mark, closer to the near side hash. 2 high safety look for Laney College here, possibly man-to-man underneath in a nickel package. And it's a pass. Quick slant across the middle, and that one's batted down. Isaiah Newton's first pass incomplete. It looked like the trees inside for Laney College were able to get their arms up and bat that one away. So the thing that Isaiah Newton brings that Teddy Boras or Marcus Sanders isn't quite able to do is he's a dynamic athlete, so you can run a lot of these read option concepts with him because his legs are arguably one of the most dominant parts about his game. And Fari Miller rushes off the right side, and a nice pickup of about 7 yards on the play, make it 8 at the end of it with the extra surge. He was met in the hole but lowered the shoulder and able to get a big contact on the play to make it a 3rd down and manageable. And when you have a workhorse back like Ferrari, you know you can trust him on 2nd down for him to get to you some big chunks on the play. The tackle was made by Caleb Purfoy at the end of the play. And now the Vikings line up with the tight end off the left side of the line. That is Bradley Bittner. I expect to see a read option in the situation. Newton, chest high snap. And it's a traditional handoff as Miller stuffed right alongside the edge. Only got a gain of 1 on the play. So Ferrari Miller makes it a 4th down and 1 after the tackle was made by number 46, Mateus Alega, the sophomore from Green Valley High School out there in Nevada. And it looks like the Vikings will be forced to punt it away now as well. Similar situations on both sides, and nobody was able to get a 1st down up to this point. So now it'll send out Jacob Johnson, number 39 JJ, the freshman out of Livermore. A 3-sport athlete in high school, lacrosse, basketball alongside football. The number 4 punter in California by CSK. And the pressure got to him, but a low winding punt forces the returner to retreat all the way down to the 12-yard line before stepping out of bounds. It was Jerry Ruffin on the return. And Ruffin's somebody that you really got to watch out for in terms of this Laney College offense, I should say, because of the fact that Ruffin can just run those jet sweeps and turn the quarter. He is a very athletic wide receiver, was a bounce back from UC Davis. Had offers to Nevada and Davis out of high school, decided to go up and play with my Ags up there and came back looking for more opportunity now. So after the return and the terrific punt, the ball spotted down at the 14-yard line, and it's Drayon Paul for his 2nd drive coming out here from the 14-yard line. Paul working out of the pistol. They pull the guard and they run power. Running it inside and then bouncing back outside to the near side numbers. Tackle was Langston Cook, the defensive end, making the play. Zachary Norton was the running back on the carry to bring it out for a gain of 3. And that's one thing you expect to see this Laney offense do tonight. They believe that the edges for DVC are their weak point in their defense and expect to see them run power and run outside zone. 2nd down and 7 from the 17-yard line. Or pardon me, it's, yes, it is the 17. A play action fake and a throw out into the left side flat. One tackler to beat and fell down onto his rear end under his own power. Wesley Garton scaring the daylights out of the intended receiver, making him fall to the ground and lose a gain of 4 on the play. And the receiver was Davion Sanders, pardon me. Joe Sanders has been one of the best receivers for this team that has honestly struggled with their quarterback play this year. So they have a lot of weapons on the outside, but it's a matter of can they get the pass to the intended receiver and can they give it to them with a wide enough space to work with. 3rd down and 10 from the 14-yard line now. 10:23 remaining here in the 1st. Ruffin stands tall, pardon me, it was Paul who stands tall, and he throws just short of the sticks before Marley Alapati makes the tackle on the play. And it was Joe Sanders getting the reception there, but these are some of the situations that are tough to deal with, especially when you're on your 3rd quarterback of the year, as Laney is. You had Mason Lovett start the year, and then Bo Blau played pretty well. Ended his season against Foothill with a back injury. So Drayon Paul comes in, and those are the hard situations to play in. You know you got to get the 10-yard distance, so you can't really rely on throwing it a little short. But unfortunately for the Laney Eagles, it's another 4th down, and Niermeyer comes out for a 2nd attempt. A high snap, able to jump up and handle it, and this is a low winding punt that is fielded down at the 41-yard line. Jake Calcagno was the man to get the fair catch on the play. So the Vikings will get the ball from the 42-yard line on their 2nd possession. 2 3-and-outs to start the game for the Eagles, and the Vikings now trying to get their offense rolling. Have not seen a single rushing attempt from Isaiah Newton yet, but very much expect that to come very soon. And the Vikings will work from the far hash mark right to left. Trips formation to the near-hand side. Isaiah Newton out of the gun. Quick pass, and the ball's batted down once more. Number 42 was the man on the spot. Jeremiah Caldwell able to knock the ball down to the floor. Pardon me, I think that was actually 46. That was Alega once more. That's his second batted pass of the game. You might have some of these issues tonight. The gray on white, a little bit of a difficult read from up here in the booth. So after that, it's 2nd down and 10 from the 42-yard line. Same formation here, a little tighter. And a screen pass to the near-hand side. It's brought in at the 42-yard line, breaks his way out to the 50, and that is a gain. They'll mark him down at the 49-yard line. It was number 84 on the play, Stephen Henry II, who got the start today. And Demarius Hammonds comes up to make the play, the starting safety for the Laney Eagles. So now it's another 3rd down and short. This one's at the 50-yard line, so maybe you expect a run. Or even if you really trust your running game like the Vikings have this year, maybe even try to go ahead and pass it again. But the first completed pass for Newton tonight will be the screen. And it's a carry off the right side. Fighting forward past the 50-yard line. The defense read that one perfectly, holding Miller to a gain of 1. And now the Vikings have an interesting decision. The ball's on the 49-yard line of the Eagles. It's 4th down and 1. And let's see if head coach Jimmy Collins will keep the offense out on the field with 8:35 remaining. It looks like the punting unit is lining up here. So the Vikings say, hey, it's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Trying to see the number on the return man as Jacob Johnson takes the field. Ruffin was the man on the last punt return, and Ruffin's been the guy who's gotten the majority of the punt returns this year for the Eagles. Instead, it is, I believe, 13 Cho Sanders. And a delay of game will push the ball back a little bit further. With the leg and the power that Jacob Johnson has, I don't think you have to worry too much about that. But in this situation now, you got to factor out the fake. I don't think you're going to fake it after taking that delay of game. A little bit more space to work from as the line of scrimmage is now set at the 46-yard line. JJ, low snap, hand out well, brought in, end-over-end kick. And this one will bounce down and take a Laney bounce to the 21-yard line as the Vikings will field that ball there. It was Cho Sanders forcing the Vikings to come and field that ball as Garton fields it down at the 22-yard line. And now both teams start with a 3-and-out. These defenses are quite stout on both sides. Diablo Valley comes in with the 17th ranked defense in terms of points per game. Laney College with the 26th, but the yardage advantage actually goes to Laney, only giving up 289 yards per game to the Vikings 330. So a top 15 matchup between these two defenses and a late substitution here for Laney College. And the Vikings had a possibility to use this situation to possibly make them burn a timeout, but they do not do so. 10 seconds left on the shot clock here. The up back is lined off on the right guard, and I believe that's Caldwell lined up there. And it's Paul handing it off up the middle. And it's Zachary Norton with another carry. This one only forward for a gain of 2 on the play. And number 57, Langston Cook, came from his edge position to make the tackle in the middle of the field. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 25-yard line now. 7:42 counting down in this first quarter of play as the Eagles looking to pick up their first down and the first down of the game. Back off the right-hand side, it's 12 personnel now. High snap, Paul handles another handoff and wrangled down from his neck right at the line of scrimmage. No face mask, no horse collar, and it was Michael Estrada making the tackle from that inside defensive line position. 99 got in there as well. That was Amari Cormier. So both of the defensive tackles for the Vikings stuffing that hole. And now it's 3rd down and long once more. 3rd and 7 on the play from the 25-yard line. The fans getting loud here. Vikings in the top 15 in the 3C2A in terms of attendance. A lot of fans coming out and showing their Vikings team love. So from the near hash mark, the work out of the gun. Norton is still the back, working with the 3 receivers set to the forehand side. A mug look, and the Vikings do bring the pressure. Paul rolling out to his left-hand side. Paul flips his hips, just tosses it into the dirt. And they said the intended receiver, J.P. Zamora, was close enough in the vicinity that they will not call that an intentional grounding. And the pressure is true for the Vikings there as they send Marley Alapati out for the blitz. And the Vikings force another 3 and out. 3rd of the game. David Piero will line up at the 50. Jake Calcagno will have his heels down at the 31-yard line. And Brandon Niermeyer continuing to get his extra leg day in. Niemeyer out of Granada, but I believe he originally came from the UK. This one will be fielded down at the 42-yard line as Calcagno breaks one tackle there. Able to jump cut as a flag comes down. Calcagno drops after a 5-yard gain on the play down to the 44-yard line. And let's see what that tackle or what that flag will be on. 42, Jeremiah Caldwell, the fullback on special teams, makes the tackle. In that situation, it might be a holding, so that will bring the Vikings back 10 yards from the spot. Let's see what the white cap has in store for us. Oh, and even worse than a hold, it's a blindside block. So instead of 10, it'll be 15. So the Vikings going to march all the way back inside of the 20. So the ball's going to be spotted right about a hair inside of that 20. So the Vikings now, starting from what used to be the traditional starting point many moons ago. You got a touchback and get out to the 20, but all these changes, you see it in the NFL with the new kickoff. College still does the traditional kickoff, but the ball's spotted down right in between the hash marks from the 20-yard line, and it's an opportunity for Newton again. In the pregame show, we were talking to Coach Collins about how Newton can take the offense and expand upon it due to his athleticism, and now in 12 personnel, it's a broken play, and he gets a lead blocker as Newton lowers his shoulder into the linebacker. And Newton makes a broken play into a 7-yard gain. What a great job. 27 made the tackle at the end of the play, and that's Demarius Hammonds doing it. But what was really interesting about that play is Newton turned to the right-hand side to give it to Miller. Miller ran to the left-hand side, so instead of panicking, he used him as a lead blocker. So you have 2 tight ends in there blocking for you, your running back's blocking, and your halfback turns into Isaiah Newton to make it a 7-yard gain. 2nd down and 3 from the 27-yard line, 5:47 returning. Or counting down, I should say. It's a 3-receiver set to the forehand side. The lone receiver on the bottom is Piero. Piero gets past his man, but the ball lofted far too much in front of him. We've seen Piero have so much success this year. And the clock will stop. Gavin O'Leary was able to get inside of the face of Isaiah Newton. O'Leary, one of the better players in the 3C2A, one of the guys that Laney College actually stole away from DVC as he went to school across the street in College Park, a Pleasant Hill native. O'Leary, first in forced fumbles, 22nd in total tackles, 17th in PBUs. He is a tackling machine. Newton will pass, 3-step drop, a quick fire to the forehand side, right past the sticks. A gain of 5 on the play, and that's a 1st down brought in by, trying to get a number on the play, 27, the intended receiver. No. I believe it was 84? Or no, it was 17, Yannick Berg. Regardless of the play, it is a 1st down for the Vikings here. Shotgun spread now. Motioning the receiver across, it's Henry lining up as the slot towards the trip side. Handoff. Miller bounces on the outside to the top of the numbers. as he continues to physically fight past the 40-yard line. A gain of 9 on the play out to the 40-yard line, and the tackle was eventually made by Bryce Heckard, the freshman out of Arborview in Las Vegas. So it's a 2nd and short now, so expect to see the Vikings possibly look to take a shot. Isaiah Newton has struggled with accuracy during his time here at DVC, but one thing we know, he's got a live arm and he can drop the ball in the bucket on the deep shot. Pressure comes off the edge, and the handoff to the left-hand side. Vikings elect to play it safe here after they picked up their first down of the game moments ago, and now they get another. A 2-yard rush by Ferrari Miller, and it's another 1st down and 10 for the Vikings here. At the end of the play, it was Maile Jr., the sophomore out of San Leandro, prides himself quite so much on stopping the run as a true nose tackle does. And now there's an injured player at the end of the field, and that actually looks like Gavin O'Leary shaken up. That is a massive play if Gavin O'Leary gets hurt here. But Laney College does have a great athletic training staff led by Rick Becker, one of my former athletic trainers here at DVC. So a lot of relationships here as we get to our first time out of the game. Inside of 4 minutes to play, 3:59 remaining in this first quarter as it's 0-0 with this timeout. So back here after the timeout, and the Vikings will line up facing a 1st down once more. Up back off the left-hand side, and it's Elfadil, more of the passing tight end for the Vikings here. 3-step drop for Newton, firing towards the near sideline, high to try to grab the ball, but it's airmailed over the top of Miles Dixon's head. Not a great start for Isaiah Newton passing to start this game, and it's 2nd down and 10. Newton, I believe, only 2 completed passes up to this point. The swing pass into the flat that got close to a 1st down, and then the 1st down throw. Fun fact here, Isaiah Newton was the quarterback of Brock Bowers over at Napa High. Talk about this stat. 1,286 yards for Newton in his senior year in high school. Brock Bowers caught 85% of those yardage. So if you want to talk about how terrific of a talent Brock Bowers is, you can see it there. A wide receiver screen across the middle of the field, and Calcano cuts it up near midfield, and Calcano had to go through the trees to try to find some space. Terrific accuracy there by Newton, throwing it right behind the heads of the defensive lineman that read the play fairly well, but the ball will be brought out to midfield, and the Vikings will face a 3rd down. So a 7-yard pickup on the play from number 7, Jake Calcano, the redshirt freshman from Cal High. A former 2-star recruit, redshirted at CCSF alongside head coach Jimmy Collins. It's a pass, a sidearm sling to the near-hand side, and the ball was caught short of the sticks. No, they'll mark him right there. Stephen Henry II on the start, able to pick up the 1st down. That's the 2nd 1st down Henry was able to pick up so far in the half. Now both tight ends come into the game and expect to play some bully ball for the Vikings as Bittner and Elfadil come in. The tackle at the end of the play was made by Tony Hamilton, the safety / nickel from Skyline High School. And so now the Vikings on 1st down and 10 will motion Elfadil to the right-hand side. And it's another pass by Newton, lofting over the top. Left all alone was Calcano along the far sideline, 32-yard line, getting a gain of 2 after the catch, and a pickup of 17 on the play for the 1st down out to the 30. Akil Edwards, the best defensive back for the Laney Eagles, able to make the tackle at the 30. But it seemed like a little bit of a misplay. Wasn't quite able to see the defense perfect, but I believe it was covered too, so a terrific job reading the play and hitting that hole shot for Newton. And so now Miller's in the backfield out of the shotgun alongside Newton once more. From the far hash mark, working right to left. It's a belt-high snap and a read option and a give over to Miller, breaking through the line. Has a lane up to the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Ferrari Miller! Give that engine some gas, a 30-yard touchdown on the play. A terrific job for Ferrari. He saw the hole, usually a very patient runner, but when the white sea opens up in this case, you got to put all of your gas into it. Revved up the engines, took it all the way in for the tug, and the first score goes to the Vikings here with 1:54 to play. 6-0 the score awaiting the Jorge de Sousa PAT. Snap is off, hold is down, the kick is up, splits the uprights as a flag comes in, but as the way it sits right here, DVC will be up 7. Marcus Sanders, the holder on the play. Now Coach Collins will talk to the white cap and a couple other officials here. And I believe the penalty will likely be against Laney. Running into the kicker, it's declined, so they'll take the point. And it's 7-0 Vikings here, the lead with under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter of play here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here on the field after the touchdown scored. And it is Michael Vaccaro kicking it away for the Vikings here. This won't be in the field of play at the 3-yard line and taken for the return. Top of the numbers, trying to go over the top, and he's tackled down after a gain of 17 on the play. Trey Dean makes the tackle. And the ball carrier was Cho Sanders there, taken out to the 20. So the Vikings scored from the 20 last time, and now an opportunity for Laney College. Laney hasn't picked up a first down up to this point. And so it is Dreyon Paul motioning Featherstone across the formation, rolling out in the bootleg, throwing it into the flat, and Wesley Garton was there to make the play right away, trying to sneak it to Jeremiah Caldwell into the flat. But Garton alongside, I believe that was okay, so it was Acevedo alongside Garton able to make the tackle, so both linebackers converging there. 2nd down and 7 from the 23-yard line, 1:22 counting down. A lot of bootlegs so far tonight for Dreyon Paul. And it'll be a handoff this time around. Bouncing off one tackle, working his way to the far-hand side, and that's Milan able to get the very first down of the game. Kamon Brown makes the tackle at the end of the play, the nickel for the Vikings. But this is the person you have to worry about. Simeon Milan, one of the top rushers in the 3C2A last year. He was an absolute beast. All-conference running back, Region 1 first-team selection, the conference-leading rusher last year. But as he's been beaten up this year, they've had to rely on other backs like Norton. And it's a swing pass to the far-hand side. That one was a lateral. And a hop over the top. Cho Sanders making a terrific play as a Vikings player is down on the field to the 40-yard line. And that is Saphir Stills-Bay that is hurt at the end of the play. That is not good. Saphir Stills-Bay is the #1 defensive back for the Vikings, or he has been at least this year. So hopefully Stills Bay is able to get up under his own power as he gets the love and attention from the athletic trainers. And we'll take a timeout here. 30 seconds remaining left in the first quarter of play here on DVC Vikings Live. Saphir Stills Bay able to get up under his own power, so that's a terrific thing for the Vikings here. He'll check out momentarily. But after the play from Cho Sanders, it'll be 2nd down and 2 now from the 40-yard line. It's a full backfield here in the two-back pistol, something reminiscent of what we used to see back in the day with Kaepernick at Nevada. Vikings look like they want to send the pressure here on the right-hand side, and they'll send Cho Sanders out into the flat. It's a handoff to Milan, and Milan, tough sledding, only a gain of 1 on the play, was met behind the line of scrimmage by Oshewa, and he was able to drag him forward for a gain of 1, but now it's 3rd down and short. Arame Oshewa has been such a terrific addition in this last couple of weeks for the Vikings there. Came into tonight, 17 total tackles, and out of them solo. And when you're a defensive end getting a solo tackle like that as the clock hits 0, you know you're doing a good job. So, clock's hit 0 here at the end of the first 15 minutes of play, and it's 7 to 0. DVC gets the first score of the game over the Laney Eagles here at the Causeway Clash in Vikings Stadium. Back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here on the field, flipping the sides, working right to left now between the hash marks from the Vikings. See the mug look, and it's a handoff in the backfield. And Milan stuffed. A terrific job by big number 9 inside. Amari Cormier making the play. Get a check out as we get a replay up and operational. Just a great job by the defensive lineman getting that penetration. And the Vikings able to get the stop, forcing the punt. A loss of a yard on the play, and at the halftime break, we'll try to get our scoreboard working properly. We got it running off a camera that seems to not want to stay up. So 14:37 counting down, and it's the, I believe, 4th punt of the night now by Brandon Niermeyer. The deep man to return it will be Calcagno. A lot of fumbling has been the issue for the Vikings this year, and they'll send out some of their most reliable hands to really handle all the action, as there's only 2 more games left in the year. There's this one And next week guaranteed, and then everything after that is up to the committee and all that. So a delay of game on first down will bring the ball all the way back to the 39-yard line, and it'll be spotted at that, let's call it the 39-yard, no, let's call it the 40 as the ball's touching the tip of it. Niermeier's heels are on the 20-yard line. Knee-high snap. Niermeier catches it, and it's a wobbling punt that'll be fair caught by the Vikings at the, let's call this one the 36-yard line. So a 49-yard punt on the play flips the side of the field here. And we'll keep it here as the stoppage in play. Vikings sending their unit out once more. After a couple 3-and-outs, the offense finally started to roll off the legs of Ferrari Miller, and that last drive drove all the way down from the 20 into the end zone. Miller was accountable for the last 30 yards of that for the Tug. Too high safety look in the nickel now for Laney College. And it's Isaiah Newton, low snap, and it's a quarterback power now up the middle. And Newton holding the ball forward. You got to pay attention to that situation. I think the MO for every single team this year is going to be you cannot hold the ball loose because everybody's going to be trying to rip away at it if you've been watching the Vikings film. The Vikings are 62nd out of 66 teams in the 3C2A in terms of fumbles. They've had 16 fumbles with 13 loss, and one might even say that's the reason you've lost 3 of those 4 games that you've dropped this year. 2nd down and 7 now from the 39-yard line. 3:35 remaining. It's another quarterback keeper up the left-hand side. Nearly a face mask and holds the ball tight at the end of the play. Gets right to the stick to gain. And a 7-yard rush for Isaiah Newton turns into a first down. Isaiah Newton now getting his legs involved. Number 85, Michael Zapata, able to make the tackle on the play. Zapata, a very tall athlete, as you can see that pretty easily from the broadcast view. 6'4", 245 out of Balboa High. And a swing into the flat, caught by the tight end, out to the forehand side to the 40, top of the numbers, down to the 35. That was number 88, Amani Elfadil, with a massive pickup on the play. 17 yards after everything is said and done, and Roman Gates was able to make the tackle, the freshman from Amador Valley. Vikings offense finding their groove here, and it's that 12 personnel doing it for them. 2 tight ends, 1 running back. You see it so much in the NFL now, and at the JC level, Vikings are taking advantage of it as well. And when you have such good athletes as well, you can really use it in the passing and the rushing game. A low ball picked up by Piero as he cuts it back on the top of the near hash marks, and Piero nearly takes off into the end zone, but instead he's dropped down at the 3. 32-yard reception by David Piero. That one was a low pass, bobbled at the 31-yard line, and the shiftiness and the ability of number 3 in green and white able to make it a first down and goal from the 3. Akil Edwards saved the tackle at the end of the play for the Eagles, but now the Vikings are in a dangerous situation here at the 3. Low snap, handle well, give over to Miller. Miller runs off right guard and doesn't quite have enough juice to make it in. A gain of 1 on the play. And at the end of the play, Marlon Purfoy alongside Jamal Boyd able to make the tackle. Pardon me, that's 35. That was Saeed Smith, the sophomore out of Dixon. And so now the Vikings will stretch it out here on 2nd and goal from the 2. 11:06 remaining. Isaiah Newton working out of the gun. Another handoff. Left-hand side. Lowers the shoulder. Gets towards the goal line. Hands are up. And he's in. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Miller does it from the 30 last time, and now he powers his way in from the 2-yard line. A 2-yard rush for a TD, and it's 13-0 for the Vikings here with 10:54 remaining in the 2nd quarter of play. Marcus Sanders is the holder, the kicker, Jorge De Souza. Snap is off, hold is down, the kick is up, splits the uprights, crosses the T on the PAT, and it's 14-0 Vikings here on DVC Vikings Live. That'll send us to a timeout. Michael Vaccaro ready to boot things away left to right from the near hash mark. And the two deep men for Laney College will be Joe Sanders and Jerry Ruffin. The ball will be fielded down by Ruffin at the 1-yard line. Jerry Ruffin taken across the field. Out to the 15-yard line. Now the 20 finds the sideline, 25. And it'll be marked 1 yard shy of what it would have been if it was a touchback down to the 24-yard line. A 21-yard return on the play. And Keemon Brown makes another play for the Vikings here. Keemon didn't play too much in the early games, but since then he's really stepped up on special teams as well as stepping up as the nickel for the Vikings. So, having a little bit of success last time around. You got a couple first downs after, I believe it was 3 and outs to start the game. And it's Drayon Paul looking to make something happen here. He works from the 4 hash mark. Motions Ruffin across the formation. And the Vikings are in a man-to-man. Step back, throw across the back of the field, and it was thrown into the back of one of the pulling offensive linemen. That was right into the back of, I believe, number 71, Aiden Van Hoos. So a little bit of a scary situation there for Laney College, and the ball floated up in the air quite a while, but it ends up harmlessly landing down on the field. So an incompletion at the end of the play will make it 2nd down and 10 from the 24-yard line. Working out of the pistol. Head high snap, another handoff, and the counter blown up. Milan had nowhere to go. A tackle for loss of 6 on the play. Just perfectly keying in to make the play. That was Saphir Stills Bay. Making a 3rd down and 14 now. Stills Bay shaken up at the end of the drive last time around, able to come back in. And when you got such a talented guy, a track athlete, I mean, he could sprint, and when you give him terrific reads, give him the opportunity to play loose and free, he can make plays like that into the backfield. 3rd down and 14. Ruffin standing tall in the pocket. He's going to left it over the top, and it's brought in at the 45. Give him some time to throw, and he can make you pay. Number brought down to the 41-yard line, or pardon me, they're going to call it down to the 45 on a 22-yard reception. And it was number 13, Journey McCoy, able to make the tackle at the end of the play. Couldn't quite get a number on who the intended or who the receiver was on the play, however. So now working out of the pistol once more, trying the running game. A rush off the left side. And Milan, man, just some really hard runs tonight. Only a 2-yard gain on the play. Wesley Garton finds his way to the bottom of the pile as he led the charge. So now it's 2nd down and 8 after the rush of 2. Zachary Norton started the game, but all the handoffs so far have gone to Simeon Milan. Up back off the left-hand side. They'll motion the receiver across the formation, and it's the first jet sweep handoff. Wesley Garton read that perfectly. Samaje Featherstone tackled down, and the wood was chopped down to the 38. Wesley Garton Such a physical linebacker for the Vikings, but what makes him special is his eyes and his ability to read what the offense does. And a lot of great scouting by the Vikings here. We could hear, he's going to motion, and the Vikings took advantage of it immediately, making it a 3rd down and 17 here from the 38-yard line, 8:14 counting down. 3rd down and long for Drayon Paul. 3 receivers out there. Vikings bring the pressure. Picked up well, over the top, has a man streaking down to the 32-yard line. The touchdown saving tackle made down to the 22. Jerry Ruffin just runs the straight route. A 40-yard pickup on the play. The Vikings sent the pressure, and they paid for it. He beat Journey McCoy, the safety, over the top. But Journey still sticking with it. Yeah, Ruffin just has that dynamic speed. I mean, can't even call it a post. It was just a straight go. And so now, inside of the red zone for the first time tonight, play action fake to the right-hand side for Paul. Paul lofts into the back of the end zone. Nowhere to go there. Trying to take it all after the first play. And it was J.P. Zamora. You try to throw a jump ball to your 6'4 receiver, but McCoy was there. A couple different D1 bounce backs battling it out on that last play. Now it's 2nd down and 10 after taking the shot from the 13-yard line. Fullback hiding behind that right side of the line. And Milan just continues to chop those legs. Simeon Milan tackled by Santino Acevedo after a pickup of 3. And now it'll be a 3rd down and 6. He's really just working all off of Yak. Milan gets tackled right at the line of scrimmage, and his powerful legs just carry defenders forward. And so now it's 14-0 off. The Vikings have scored on the last 2 drives after a couple 3-and-outs to start. And Laney now facing a 3rd down and 6 from the 14. A shotgun look for Paul, a head-high snap looking towards the far sideline. He's going to step on the pocket and run. The quarterback is a threat to run. Breaks one tackle down to the 2-yard line. 2 different Vikings missed on the play. A gain of 18 on the play. Or, pardon me, it was a gain of about 13 on the play, and Acevedo was able to make the tackle at the end of the play. A couple explosive plays by this Eagles offense will set them up 1st and goal from the 1. 6-12 counting down, trying to break the goose egg here in the 2nd. Heavy personnel, no wide receivers, all tight ends and running backs. Out of the gun, it's Paul. Paul sprints right, eyes downfield, pressure comes, the ball popped out. Scooped up, it's still dropped, but they fall on top of it down to the 14-yard line. The free blitzer as the assignments were blown in the blocking game, and the Vikings fall on top of it. Santino Acevedo forced the fumble, and picking it up was Dougie Silva. A massive play. It was 1st down and goal from the 1, and a massive blow up in the backfield as the Vikings are finally on the other side of the fumbling issue. The Vikings fielded the ball down at the 14, and that's where they will get it. Isaiah Newton working with 2 receivers on each side. A low snap handle once again. Stepping up in the pocket, and Newton is sacked as a flag comes in at the end of the play. Newton sacked a couple different times last week against Foothill College. And it was 85 continuing to get the pressure. Michael Zapata. A holding by the Vikings. This one's likely going to be declined, however. So he's at half the distance to the goal, but I don't believe you ever want to accept that holding in that situation. Yes, it is declined. The Whitecap got a little too far ahead of himself in that situation there, so they will accept the sack, and the Vikings will be far behind the chains here. It was a loss of 7 on the sack. And the Vikings with Miller in the backfield alongside Newton from the near hash mark face the 2nd and 17. 5:30 counting down here in the second. Belt high snap and a read option turns into a handoff. Ferrari, not much space to work with this time around, only a gain of a yard. Roman Gates from his linebacker spot, able to stuff the hole. So now it's 3rd and 16. You expect the Vikings to either run it or throw a screen, but you got to think Laney knows all about that as well. And it is a screen to David Piero. Piero has space along the sideline, out to the 20, dumps over the defender, a jump cut inside to the 25-yard line. Let's see where they mark him down. The officials mark him down to the 27. Acrobatics, call that man a gymnast. 20-yard catch on the play, and wow. You call him shifty, man. Throw him down on the balance beam. He can do everything. Yeah, somebody said he didn't do a reverse. Couldn't quite pull the Saquon, but hey, I'll take it. So now it's an electric first down. It's a free play. Newton rolling out to his right. Eyes downfield. Newton steps forward, running through. Face mask at the end of it all. Fumbles the ball on the ground, and the Vikings will pick up the 15-yard penalty on top of the jump. You would want to see your quarterback throw that ball away. You don't want to see him take too many hits like that. But hey, Isaiah Newton with his improv skills able to get another 15 on top of everything. So a offsides on the defense or an encroachment, and then the face mask. Ooh, so it was a horse collar, not a face mask. So you decline the offsides, you take the 15-yard penalty, and the Vikings with another first down. Laney College, 7.7 penalties per game. That's 16th in the 3C2A, and that was a massive one. Trying to use the hard count was Newton, and he'll look towards the near sideline for the check. In that 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back from the near hash mark. Belt high, another give, and Miller walking through 1 tackler. And Miller for a gain of 3, following the lead block of Amani Elfadil. Couldn't quite get a number on the tackler here. But it'll be a 2nd down and 7 now. Clock churning down into the latter part of this second quarter of play. 3:13 coming down. 15 seconds left on the shot clock, or pardon me, the play clock. Getting a little too ahead of myself in this basketball season. And Miller breaking through 1 line, breaks through another out to the 30-yard line, top of the number 20, out to the 15-5, touchdown! 3 touchdowns on a 54-yard rush for Ferrari Miller. So patient in the backfield, and once he broke free, nobody was catching him. 2:55 left here in the first half of play, and the Vikings lead it 20-0. Capitalizing on the turnover. Vikings with a 3rd consecutive score. Silva snap. And a stoppage in play before anything went. A false start, and the Vikings will make it a little bit more of a difficult PAT here. Sanders shaking hands with D'Souza. So the ball will be spotted back down. And from this spot, it'll be a 25-yard PAT. Silva the snapper, Sander the holder, the kicker to Sousa. Snap is off, hold is down, the kick is up. No worries up here in the booth because it's 21-0 for the Vikings here with 2:55 remaining, and that'll send us to a timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here on the field, and it's 21-0 for the Vikings here. 2:55 counting down. It was first down and goal for Laney College. They fumble the ball down to the 14-yard line, and the Vikings go all the way down the field. And Ferrari Miller is having a career night against a terrific rushing defense in the Eagles. He's already got 3 touchdowns, a 54-yarder, a 30-yarder, and a 2-yarder. This one will be returnable. And it's Cho Sanders taking it to the 9-yard line. Has some space alongside the near hash mark. And Cho Sanders with a terrific return spotted down at the 32-yard line. Journey McCoy on special teams ends up making the tackle. So the return was taken from the 3 down to the 33, so that's pretty easy math, a 30-yard return. So the Vikings have been beat a couple different times on man coverage. Maybe you see them go back to that zone. You do have to factor in, though, when the Vikings are playing man, a lot of the time it's been a blitz. So now with a 2-back pistol look, it's Dreyon Paul motioning Cho Sanders into the flat on the far-hand side. A handoff, and breaks one tackle into the backfield as Marley Alipati was the one who missed the tackle. And then once you gave Simeon Milan a little bit of space, he just sprints down that near side hash for their 12-yard gain and a first down. Now to the 45-yard line. Working out of that 2-back set once more. Motioning Sanders into the flat. And it's another handoff. A give up the middle on the draw. And this time, a stout tackle in the hole by Marley Alipati. Fool me once, shame on me, but you ain't gonna fool me twice. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 44. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute timeout, 21-0. It's a 21 skunk here up to this point for the Vikings here at home on DVC Vikings Live. I got so excited I forgot to tell you about the festivities going down on the field tonight. It is a 2-event night for the Vikings here at home. It's sophomore night as it's the last guaranteed home match for the Vikings here. They'll all be celebrated most likely, as well as Veterans Appreciation Night. As you can see the graphic during our timeouts there. And one of the players for the Vikings, Tobin Bunch, one of the offensive linemen, is a veteran, so thank you, Tobin, for all that you do, as well as all the other veterans here. And now it's a change. No, it is Paul Still rolling out to his right. Whips it, it's intercepted! A throw late and behind his receiver. receiver, and it was picked up by the Vikings. A great opportunity, but just wasn't able to execute quite well enough. And it was Jeffrey Holden getting his second interception of the year. The Vikings forced a ton of interceptions last time around. 4 interceptions forced against Foothill College. And now the barks are coming out as the Vikings get the ball down to the 48-yard line. So now the Vikings hurry back out onto the field after scoring on their last 3 possessions. Isaiah Newton, low snap, and it's another read option as the handoff goes to Miller, and Miller takes a big punch at the end of the play, but a positive gain down to the 48-yard line. Let's call it a gain of 3. Roman Gates from his linebacker position, meeting Ferrari Miller. And they actually say he only got a gain of 1. So I thought that ball would be spotted down at the 48. Instead, it's the 49 of the Vikings. So working left or right here inside of 2 minutes to play. The Vikings getting the ball after the turnover, and it looks like they might just feel free to take some time off the clock. The Vikings will get the ball on the other side of the half. And it's a go route tossed down the far sideline, and a flag will turn into a 15-yard penalty. Miles Dixon had to step over the defender on the play. And honestly, not a bad situation to be in if you are the defender there. You have an opportunity to interfere with the defender, make it only a 15-yard gain instead of a TD, live to fight another down. If you get beat, honestly, you just got to grab your arm out there, interfere, and live to fight another down. So the 15-yard penalty will be assessed, and the Vikings will take the ball from the 31-yard line. 3 timeouts still in the pocket of the Vikings, as no timeouts have been called by the Vikings here. 1 timeout was taken by Laney early in the game. And now, with 1:08 remaining, the Vikings take it from the 36. First time today we're seeing Isaiah Newton in an empty set, and now the defense is shifting here. It's cover 0 now, motioning Ferrari Miller into the flat. A screen pass, not throwing. Isaiah Newton rolls out the left-hand side. A terrific job throwing the ball away. The Vikings set up a play to look like a screen pass to the running back on the right side, and then a flood screen for the wide receiver on the left side. A great job by Laney's defense to read it, and I think they're actually going to call Newton with the intentional grounding. The read was there by Newton. Did not put the ball in a dangerous situation, threw the ball away, but unfortunately it looked like he wasn't quite able to get outside of that tackle box from what the officials are looking at. I thought he was quite outside of the tackle box, but let's see what the Whitecap has. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. Ineligible man downfield, and that'll be a 5-yard penalty. Better than the intentional grounding there. And if I'm not mistaken, that'll keep the down as well. Oh, no. A correction here. The quarterback threw the ball away, so there is no intentional grounding. So the Vikings now pick up the flag and keep it moving. 1:03 left on the clock here in the first half of play. And it's 2nd down and 10 from the 21-yard line. Or, pardon me, not the 21. It's the 36-yard line. And sometimes the right play is to throw it away. And when you have an experienced guy like Isaiah Newton behind center, able to do so very much. Low snap, squats to get the ball, throwing towards the near sideline, and it's caught at the 25-yard line, shakes the defender, and the cavalry comes, but not quite enough as it's a suplex taking down the receiver as Miles Dixon gets another couple extra yards at the end of the play, down to the 18-yard line. A timeout taken at the end of the play, and the tackle was made by Akil Edwards. So the Vikings take the timeout, and we'll take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. Back onto the field after the timeout. The Vikings still have 2 in their pocket as they lead 21-0 with 54 seconds remaining. Just outside of the red zone as the ball spotted down, first down and 10 for the 23. Sprint left for Newton, and the lefty quarterback throws, and it's juggled and dropped. Tried to find the tight end out there into the flat, and it was Elfadil making an uncharacteristic drop on the play. So that'll make it a 2nd down and 10. Both tight ends check out, so the Vikings will go back to what is called their base offense here in this game. 4 receivers. The Vikings will go empty. Miller is the receiver on the near side slot. They'll show the motion to check for man-to-man coverage, and another bad snap. A terrific job getting it, and a throw to Calcano in the front of the end zone. Jake Calcano, an 18-yard touchdown, and the Vikings right before the half get another score, 27-0. I mean, what a play by Newton. There's snapping issues left and right these last couple weeks for the Vikings, and Newton's athleticism and his ability to read, picking up that ball, and then perfectly tosses the post to Jake Calcano for the TD. Snap is off, the hold is down, kick is up, and a perfect 4 for 4 for Jorge de Sousa, and it's 28-0 with 45 seconds remaining here in the first half of play. What a start. Both teams showing their stout defensive presence to start, but since the third 3-and-out for Laney College, I believe the Vikings actually only had 2 3-and-outs. They've come out and they've marched down the field, and they've scored on 4 consecutive drives. That's the first passing touchdown today for Isaiah Newton. The previous 3 touchdowns were all to Ferrari Miller. It was Miller with a 30-yard touchdown, Miller with a 2-yard touchdown, and then Ferrari with a 54-yard touchdown, and then that time capped off by a 17-yard passing touchdown to Jake Calcano. The Vikings are the 20th ranked team in the 3C2A, and they're trying to win out to host another game potentially here at home during the bowl season. Joe Sanders and Jeremiah Ruffin, the 2 deep men, and the Vikings do have the ability to kick it into the end zone with Michael Vaccaro, but they've elected to allow the returners to take it. This time, a lot of leg plugged into it, and the ball will be fielded down to the 1-yard line. It's Ruffin cutting it down top of the numbers out to the 25, and a massive blow laid by number 0, Agent 0, Montrell Smith. And it looks like a Laney Eagle is hurt on the play. I believe that is Ruffin, the man on the return. So with 39 seconds remaining, some medical attention given to the return men, and we'll take the timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. So it was actually 13 on the return. Davion Sanders getting help by 2 of my favorite people here. They're standing on the other sideline today, Rick Becker and Cassie. I don't actually know Cassie's last name off the top of my head. Shame on me. But fortunately, it looks like he was shaken up after a tremendous hit on the play by Montrell Smith, able to walk out on his own power. So now you've got It shows 3 timeouts on the big board, but I believe you have 2 more timeouts for Laney College with 39 seconds remaining. And you're going to have to try to make something happen as you're down 4 scores here with 39 seconds. Had success on a couple different drives, but the fumble at the goal line really hurt the Eagles. Stretch to the left side, has some space along that near sideline, and it is Simeon Milan continuing to be the primary ball carrier as he gets a 7-yard gain, stopping the clock here with 34 seconds remaining. 2nd down and 3 after Marley Alapati makes the hit on the sideline. 2nd and 3. With a couple timeouts in your pocket, you do have the ability to run the ball. And with that sideline step out of bounds, you save another one. Milan will be in the backfield once more. It's a shotgun look now for Drayon Paul. 2 receivers to the far side. 3-step drop, rolling out to his right. Eyes downfield and a run for it. Pressure comes late and a slide down. The Vikings force a stop at the line of scrimmage. They'll say he started his slide right behind the line of scrimmage, so the clock will continue to run here at the 3-yard line as Santino Acevedo was able to close out on the super athletic quarterback. And the clock will continue to run down, and maybe one more play here as Laney doesn't elect to take a timeout. Hurrying up to the line, 1 second remaining, and they'll let this one run out. It started out with the defense, 3 3-and-outs by Laney, 2 3-and-outs by DVC, but the gears for Isaiah Newton kicked in, shifted it into 4th, into 5th, and hey, if it's a 6-speed, shift it into 6 because the Vikings kept scoring 6 and 7 all the way up to 28. And it's 28-0 here at the halftime break. Vikings with the advantage, and that'll send us to a halftime here on DVC Vikings Live. We're back here after the half. Vikings scored 4 times in that first half of play to give us a score of 28-0. 3 touchdowns for Ferrari Miller. He's well above 100 yards rushing tonight. And a 17-yard passing touchdown to Jake Calcano. Journey McCoy, the deep man, I should say, for the Vikings here as they will receive the opening kick here. The ball will fade all the way down to the end zone. It'll be brought out to the 10-yard line at the hash mark. Up and and toppled down to the 15. Journey McCoy maybe should have taken that touchback there, but the tackle made by number 17 for Laney College. Let's try to get a number there, and that is Purfoy. So number 44, I believe, not actually 17. But that'll bring us here to see the Vikings offense led by Isaiah Newton. Newton started off with a little bit of a rough start, but since that moment, he's really used his legs exceptionally in moments, but it's been the arm that has got him going. Motioning the receiver, Stephen Henry, across, and it's a one-high safety look here. It'll be cover 3 and nearly intercepted and stolen away. I believe that ball was intercepted by Marlon Purfoy, and it was stripped by Jake Calcano, who got the play out to the 6-yard line. Wow, what a heads-up play. I don't think they're going to officially mark that down as an interception and a strip. I think they're just going to call that a bobble, but a hectic little play to start here in the second half of play. And now to Old Steady, it's Ferrari Miller with a gain of 4 and the first down. The Vikings failed to get a first down on their first 2 drives in the opener of the game, but now they get the first down right away as Akil Edwards from his defensive back position comes in to make the tackle. So with 14 minutes remaining, it's the Vikings offense coming out from the far hash mark, working left to right there in their green tops, green bottoms with the white trim and the green helmets, as it's another give to Ferrari Miller as he pushes his way to the 29. It's been feast or famine for Ferrari tonight. He's either gotten a gain of 2 or 3 or 1, or he's taken it 54 yards to the house. So now it'll be second down and 9 from the 29-yard line. Ball will be spotted just inside of the far hash mark. Isaiah Newton out of the pistol. A jump. Oh, nearly a free play, but the snap didn't get off in time. In that 12 personnel for the Vikings, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. Pass to Piero out to the 30-yard line. A flag comes in at the end of the play, and it might be a hold on the Vikings here. Piero was able to catch it and bring it forward for a gain of 6 on the play before Gavin O'Leary. Good to see him out there because he left the game in the first quarter looking like he was a little shaken up. Hasn't made a play up to that point. Makes the tackle, but I expect Laney College to accept this penalty and push the Vikings back, making it a first down and 18. So as the ball marches back, the ball will be spotted down at the 19-yard line. Second down and 18 here, and the Vikings are in a tough situation. Looking to get a few chunk yardage here as they move Alfadil to the right-hand side in the tight end motion. Stepping up in the pocket, whips it out, and it's nearly brought in a little too far in front of Amani Alfadil, who's running the crossing route across the field. And a correction for you as well. Niermeyer was not the one punting it. It was actually number 89, Jinhyu Kang for Laney College. The transfer from New Mexico Military Institute. Plays football for the Korean national football team. It's hard to say because of the fact that these jerseys are just a bit difficult to read, but as it's gotten a little darker here, these jerseys are, maybe we're just getting used to reading them. They're a little easier. A quarterback keeper, plenty of space between the hash marks, and Isaiah Newton takes it out to the 50-yard line. He's past the defense out to the 30. Newton to the sideline, 20, 10-5, touchdown. Newton needed 19, and instead he takes it 80 yards to the house. Isaiah, you do you, baby. Flag comes down at the 9-yard line, or pardon me, the 14-yard line. But they are marking touchdown. Let's see what this flag is. You knew he was athletic, but outrunning the entirety of the defense is a different type of athletic. 81-yard touchdown if it stands. The kicking unit is on the field, so I believe this will stand. An 81-yard quarterback keeper, and it's 34-0 Vikings. Snap is off, the hold is down. Kick is up. 35-0 Vikings break the scoring open in the second half, and they've scored on every single possession since the third drive of the game. Man, you hear about how dynamic of an athlete he is, but seeing it on full display with that 81-yarder is insane. I know, you got to get that da-na-na, da-na-na, because that was an explosive play from the QB. So let's see who the returners are here, as last time there was a kickoff right before the half. Joe Sanders was hit extremely hard, and it looks like he's able to come back in. So that's massive in terms of special teams for the Laney Eagles, and it's massive in terms of just the way that their offense flows, because a lot of what they do on offense goes through Joe Sanders. The kicker, Michael Vocaro, hasn't kicked a touchback today, a few different returns, but for the most part, the Vikings special teams coverage has been there. Jotting forward, swings the left leg, end over end kick, and this one's fielded down to the 5-yard line. It's Joe Sanders near the near side hash mark and takes another massive shot to the 24-yard line. Sanders got the return, and it was number 30 for DVC on the tackle, Trey Dean, the freshman defensive back from De La Salle. So with that return, the ball spotted down to the 23-yard line. And we still see Dreyon Paul in the game. Dreyon Paul had an interception, had a fumble at the 13-yard line. And he'll work out of the pistol here from the near side. A give into the gut. The running back with the keeper, a stutter step behind the line of scrimmage. But it was Michael Estrada coming to make the tackle for loss. Call it a half-a-yard loss on the play. Trying to see the number on the rusher there. I believe that was 39, Zachary Norton coming back in. And instead, that was actually Simeon Milan. So Milan has gotten the carries since the opening couple drives with Norton running. Play action fake, bootleg out to the right-hand side, has his fullback into the flat, and Caldwell catches the ball, gets over one defender. Rumbling, stumbling, tumbling was Jeremiah Caldwell for a gain of 3 on the play. Out to the 32-yard line. Charles Cox ends up making the play after it all. But a nice little pickup of a couple of yards, making it 3rd down and manageable from the 28-yard line now. And it's 3rd down and 6. Caldwell, a big athlete, played every position on the O-line and D-line in high school over at Hayward High, but moved to a skill position here with the Laney Eagles. 11 minutes counting down. A quick pass across the middle and nearly intercepted. That ball was thrown late and over the, or not late, but high and over the middle as they were looking for Jerry Ruffin on the quick slant. But DVC did a tremendous job as Marley Alapati read the play perfectly. I think Paul just decided to throw that ball behind the 2 players and live to fight another day. So with that, it is an incomplete pass in a 4th down and 6 from the 28-yard line as the clock stops at 11:04. Piero's heels are lined up at the 44. And the man who scored the touchdown right before the half, Jake Calcagno, will be the deep man A low winding punt that'll be fair caught by Calcano at the 41-yard line. And it's a 31-yard punt at the end of the play by Junior King. So the Vikings will now, after scoring on their last 5 drives, take it from very good field position from the 41. Isaiah Newton will jot back onto the field. I believe the Vikings will likely keep the starters in for a good chunk of this third quarter here until things possibly get very far out of hand. Motioning the tight end across the formation. Elfadil, another low snap and a chop block keeps Isaiah Newton clean. Newton throwing it deep, and it's nearly undercut, juggling and almost intercepted through a jump ball to your big tight end at the 32-yard line. And the defensive back had every right to that ball as Bryce Heckard ends up nearly intercepting it, juggled it twice as he played the tip drill to himself, and at the end of the play, an incomplete pass. A great job on the play by Ferrari Miller, able to cut down the defensive lineman and keep the pocket clean enough for an opportunity. And I believe that is actually Jason Wade in the backfield now with Isaiah Newton. Miller got every carry in the first half that wasn't by the legs of Newton. And now it's a slow mesh handoff to Jason Wade. This looks like a Wake Forest offense as Jason Wade gets the first down. 2nd down and 10. Jason Wade on his first rush of the day, a 13-yard gain on an extremely slow mesh read option. Gavin O'Leary tackles Wade at the end of the play, and this is what you love to see. The Vikings obviously love to feature Ferrari Miller, but when you're giving him the ball 25 to 30 times a game, you got to give him a breather, and you have a good stable of backs able to do so. Jason Wade, Sean Davis, Amari Taylor, 3 of the other backs featured on this DVC roster. The motion Elfadil to the lone receiver on the right side, and it's a stretch to Wade. Wade, a jump cut inside as Gavin O'Leary throwing the hit stick out at number 6 in green, a gain of 2 on the play. And help on top of the play for Michael Zapata. He's made quite a few tackles today and had a sack as well. So it's 2nd down and 8. Let's call it 2nd down, 8.5 here. Jason Wade stays in the game. Line out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to the forehand side for the near hash mark. Newton working the gun. Isaiah Newton, slow snap, gets it well. Screen pass across the middle of the field. Cutting it up the near hash mark. Gets past the line to gain. And another pickup for a first down. Stephen Henry II. Tackle made at the end of the play by Demarius Hammonds as he made a massive blow. But Stephen Henry has held on to it. The Vikings have not fumbled it a single time tonight, and that's been really the issue that has cost them so many games this year. Knocking on wood, don't you worry. Not going to jinx that one. Screen passes have worked nearly to perfection. A couple different times the defensive line for Laney College was able to read it. But in the last 3 attempts, terrific gains. 2 receivers split at each side. Has to squat to get that ball, and now a pass towards the middle of the field, a little late and a little behind Yannick Berg. Berg had his intended receiver, or had the defender beat as he ran the post route, but Newton wasn't quite able to put it on the money. Demarius Hammonds, I should say, pardon me, was the defender on the play, the safety in the middle of the field. A 2-high look working out of that nickel once more are the Laney Eagles. Motion across the formation here, and it looks like it might be a zone or a blitz. Handoff over to Amari Taylor, and Taylor makes a wiggle in the backfield. Ran straight forward for a gain of 7, put his foot in the dirt and brings it out to the 20. A great run there by Amari Taylor on his first carry of the day, getting the first down. 8:37. And the clock continues to work down as the Vikings get inside of the red zone. Taylor lining up behind Isaiah Newton. And now the Vikings work 3 receivers to the near-hand side. The far receiver is David Piero. All alone on an island. And a carry now by Newton finds the edge. One man to beat. Can't quite get over the edge, but able to pick up a gain of 13 on the play. And Isaiah Newton keeps it on the sweep option this time around. Able to get a gain of 13. The snaps have been a little rough today. Ben Flakowski injured his hand against Foothill College on the drive that the Vikings took the lead in the fourth quarter. 3 different Vikings went down on that drive. Kruger, Florkowski, and Teddy Boris, but the Vikings still managed to march down the field and get the score. And now it's a play-action fake. RPO thrown over to Piero, and Piero lowers his head, trying to just sweep the ball from past him, and Piero caught the ball at the line of scrimmage before carrying it forward to a gain of 2. So now it's 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line. First and goal from the 8. Jake Calcagno will check out. And the Vikings will line up with the tight end off the right side. Motion the tight end, Amani Elfadil, as the lone receiver to the right. Looking towards Elfadil. It's a goal line fade. Back shoulder and perfectly broken up at the end of the play. Elfadil has had a few receptions on the play today, but some terrific defense as of late thrown by Laney College as they break the ball up in the back of the end zone on the goal line fade. It was number 2 on the coverage, I believe. I think they're actually going to... Can't quite see the number. His jerseys are a bit difficult to read. And now it's a sprint, and the reverse. Calcagno gets it. Eyes down the field. Calcagno, maybe a situation possibly for him to be able to pass it. And the reverse drops DVC back for a negative. And now the kicking unit will come out for the Vikings. Roman Gates making a great play, not getting fooled by the fake. And the Vikings will set themselves up here as it will be a 40, pardon me, it is, ball's at the, it'll be a 32-yard attempt from this spot. From the near hash mark, D'Souza, snap is off. Hold was bobbled a little bit, and it hits the upright, a doink. And at 5:59 remaining, D'Souza unable to knock down the field goal attempt as the ball was bobbled by Marcus Sanders, the holder. And the Vikings' hot streak comes to a close with the missed field goal attempt. Trying to go 6 scores in a row. Coming up short this time around to the Laney Eagles. Defense gets a stop as the ball spotted down at the 20. Drayon Paul continues into this one. And I believe that is Milan in the backfield as well. 2 tight ends to the right side. Fakes the jet sweep. And now Milan with some space. Cutting it out to the right-hand side. 1 man to beat. And the chop brought down by Montrell Smith. A touchdown saving tackle on a gain of 13. When you give him some room to work, Milan has been electric. But too many times he's been hit in the backfield tonight. All credit to him being able to get positive yardage the majority of the time still. And from the 34-yard line now, it'll be a pistol look. The fullback line up as an up back right off that right guard. Play action fake and a sidearm sling out into the flat. Nowhere to go for that fullback in Jeremiah Caldwell. They sneak Caldwell into the flat a few different times tonight, and the Vikings have done a terrific job not getting fooled by it. Santino Acevedo was the man to make the read, and all 3 linebackers for the Vikings have just done such a good job tonight. 2 high safety look now, and it is KB, Keemon Brown, as the other safety accompanying Montrell Smith. So few substitutions here for the Vikings. Jet motion. Another give. Plenty of space now for Milan. And Milan diving through the line straight forward like a raging bull for the first down, 11 yards on the play. Saphir Stills Bay was able to make the tackle at the end of the play. And the running game that we've seen so much from this Laney offense starting to find its groove here in the third. The only problem, they're trailing by 5 scores. 4:09 counting down in the second quarter of the play. And it's a 2-back pistol look once more for the Laney Eagles here as they line up on the top of the V of the DVC Vikings midfield logo. And it's a play action this time. Stepping up, the coverage was there. And Drayon Paul sacked down at the 38-yard line. Keemon Brown came out there for the blitz. I believe that was actually 22. Marley Alapati coming out for the blitz. And a penalty on the defense, so that's why the coverage was so good. A hold on the other side, so a sack will be wiped off the board. And it'll be a 10-yard penalty on the Vikings, giving the first down to the Eagles. So the penalty will bring the Eagles offense into the Vikings side of the field to the 45. 3:40, tick, 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 bring down in this third. They'll line up in a shotgun spread look. Possibly pressure coming, a head-high snap. Throwing across the middle of the field. Oh, and a terrific grab to the 25-yard line. Stays on his feet down the sideline to the 14. That was Jerry Ruffin. Lined up on the slot. Beat his defender off the jump and just snares it in the air. Malik Viewins, the linebacker, was on coverage there. And now the offense rolls down inside of the red zone, down to the 15-yard line. He talked about how dynamic of an athlete Jerry Ruffin is in the jet sweep game, showing his vertical threat ability as well. Another 2-back pistol look. The fullback behind the right guard, and the cutback this time around doesn't go anywhere. Limited gain on the play by Simeon Milan, and the Vikings front seven are eating tonight. And it's Santino Acevedo, the former 3-star recruit out of high school, coming up and making the play. Santino is 4th in the 3C2A in terms of interceptions, top 50 in terms of total tackles coming into this one. Man, don't let me get wax poetic about how terrific of a linebacking core this Vikings team has had. And that's only going 1 deep. When you go 2 deep to guys like Malik Viewins, J.K. Sweeney, you can go a long way. Drayon Paul decides to keep it himself, and he scrambles down to the 12-yard line. Santino Acevedo, another tackle on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and just about 7. In scoring range here. I got to believe you got to keep going for it. In this situation, you're fighting for pride in this Causeway clash here at Viking Stadium. 129 ticking down. 3 receivers, trips formation to the forehand side. Shotgun snap, head high. Paul, pump fakes, rolls out to his left-hand side, trying to get around the edge. A hold on that side, but they did not call it. And Paul will step out of bounds just shy of the line again. Oh, they actually say he stepped out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Credit Oshawa with the tackle, the defensive lineman for the Vikings. And now it'll be a 4th down from the 10-yard line. And it's a 4th down and 4 officially. The kicking unit looked like they wanted to come out here. But now a decision to be made by Laney College as they take the timeout, and we take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. After the timeout taken, it's 4th and 4 from the 10-yard line. Trayon Paul can use his legs in the situation. From the near hash mark, working right to left. He has a trips to the forehand side. Malik Viewens on the blitz. It's picked up, left all alone, and it's overthrown. Acevedo read the play a little too late as Malik Viewens came rushing off that edge. A great job by the defense, or by the running back, able to pick up the blitz. But Paul pressured and just forced to loft it a little too far over the top. And so a turnover on downs in the red zone for the second time this game. Or, no, I believe it was actually a fumble last time around. But a turnover on downs by Laney College keeps the score 0. 35-0 here inside of 1 minute to play in the third quarter of play. DVC has scored 1 touchdown here on the 81-yard rush from Newton. It was a 3rd down and long, if my memory is working correctly. And the quarterback for the Vikings suiting up, number 15, doing a terrific job. And now a quick slant across the middle of the field completed to Stephen Henry II. And as Henry has gotten the start, as the Vikings have elected to go with the spread look today with their new quarterback, and a player is down on the field, I believe maybe a little bit of cramping here. And slow to get up at the end of the play as well as the officials take the timeout. But Newton gets the completion over to Stephen Henry II, who's done so well tonight, and we'll take a quick timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the field after the injury timeout, Caleb Purfoy able to come out under his own power. The 4-man front here, and it's a 2-high safety look by the Eagles defense. Checking into a call is Newton, and now Newton, pressure comes to his face, has to throw the go route, and nearly a nice play and a pass interference at the end of it. David Piero was streaking down that near sideline. The coverage on the play was Bryce Heckert, the starting defensive back for Laney College, but he didn't turn his head around. That's one of the criteria. You've got to turn your head, and then you have every right to the ball. But instead, locked up head-to-head, horns to horns with the Vikings' David Piero, and it's a 15-yard penalty that is going to be called against the Eagles. Ball moves to the 37-yard line. It's a fresh set of downs here with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter of play. 2 high safeties once more. Out of the pistol. Belt high snap. Looks towards the near sideline. And this time it goes to Piero as he has to come back, high point the ball at the 42-yard line. And able to get a pickup of 5 on the play. And that'll likely bring us to the end of the third. Bryce Heckert made the tackle on the play. As the clock ticks down, it'll send us to the fourth quarter. It's Veterans Night, it's Sophomore Night, and DVC has the 35-0 lead over their Causeway rivals in this Causeway clash, and that'll send us to a timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. flip the sides of the field, and the Vikings will be driving right to left from the far hash mark. And it's 2nd down and 5 from the Eagles' 42-yard line with the fresh 15 left in this one. Slow read option, and some patient running into the backfield as a flag comes in at the end of the play. An explosive burst from Jason Wade. The snaps have been quite an issue for the Vikings tonight. And it was a holding call on the Vikings that'll bring them back. So now it'll be 2nd down and long, 2nd down and 15. Let's try to get a number on the center. The center is either Gage Eater or Charlie Kruger. We'll try to get this one cleared up. This one is a good snap, and the screen pass to the far hand side. The defensive lineman sniffed it out. Kept on his feet. It was Kekoa Lagarpa Barcinas with his first reception, and that's only his 3rd reception. Got both of the catches in, I believe, the 2nd game of the season against Feather River College, but coming in now as Caleb Purfoy able to make the tackle alongside number 56 inside. That was Damian Hardy, the freshman. I got him listed as a linebacker, but he's a big boy inside. He's definitely a DT. Breaking route, coming back to it. Hand-to-hand combat as the ball was trying to get to Miles Dixon on the near-hand side, but Bryce Heckard continues a solid drive. And the Vikings, who had scored on 5 straight drives, the doink to stop the last one. And now we'll get to see JJ again for the first time since the first quarter. Number 39, Jacob Johnson, been such a weapon for the Vikings this year. Came into this one averaging just a shade under 40 yards per punt. But he's been oh so effective as it's a low snap and a winding punt taken to the 25-yard line. And oh my goodness, Dougie Silva, just a cannon shot out from the linebacker's spot to make the play. Dougie Silva, so terrific for the Vikings this year. Played long snapper for the Vikings alongside filling in with some help at linebacker. And then you don't want to really play your long snapper too much just because of the value that he has. But with the situations that happen and the injuries that happen to the defensive line of DVC, Dougie stepped up, moved from linebacker to defensive end, and he was just throw that ATH after his name. Can't even just call him one position. Pressure comes, and the screen pass set up perfectly to the running back. Out to the 30-yard line, finds the sideline, out to the 40, the 50, one man a beat, and finally clothesline down to the 40. Tackle made by number 4, Anthony Henry, able to come down with a WWE-style tackle. But Simeon Milan, with his longest catch of the year, was a terrific passing threat last year for Laney College, but coming into this one, only 1 catch previous to that. 25-yard reception at the end of the play, and now they'll line up with that 2-back look. Stretch to the left side. They're feeding Milan, and Milan dead to his right's a yard deep in his own backfield. Chase Calcedo coming in. That's his 5th tackle of the year for the 6'4", 305-pound defensive lineman out of Acalanes. Three receivers to the near-hand side of the field. Furthest receiver will be J.P. Zamora out of that bunch. Working out of the gun. Sprint right. Paul throwing into the flats, and it's through the fingertips of Davion Sanders. So Davion will drop it, and it'll be a 3rd down and 11. Vikings defense, aside from a few big plays here and there, have done a terrific job tonight, truly living up to their highly ranked position. 17th in terms of points per game, 14th in total yards per game, inside of the top 10 at slot number 9 in terms of passing yards allowed. And it'll be a 4th down and 2 after the 10-yard pass on the quick slant. Jeremiah Ruffin was met by Malik Viewens, and Viewens has been playing all over the field now. Listed as a linebacker. We've seen him blitz. We've seen him lined up over the slot. A real threat now, and on 4th down and short, Laney will go for it from the Vikings 31-yard line. Fullback lined up just inside of that right guard near the line of scrimmage. Vikings looking like they're going to bring pressure. They do bring the pressure. Ruffin keeps the ball on the RPO. Ruffin throws it behind his intended receiver. Anthony Henry wanted the interception, but instead, another turnover on downs. The blitz forced Paul to keep it, rolled out to his right-hand side, and then threw it too far behind his intended receiver. DVC, after punting the ball away and allowing a massive run, or pardon me, a massive catch to Simeon Milan, he will not get any fruit for his labor. So a change up at quarterback now as Marcus Sanders comes into the game with 11:41. The former Laney Eagles started 7 games for the Eagles last year, came to the other side of the causeway, and now he'll have an opportunity to get some revenge. Hand off to Wade. And the carry is good for 2. We haven't seen Sean Davis yet in this game. We've seen carries by Ferrari Miller, Jason Wade, and Amari Taylor. But yeah, talking a little bit about Marcus Sanders, the former 3-star recruit, was a walk-on over at Oregon, spent his redshirt freshman year there. And since then, had a pit stop at Laney College, and now is here for the Vikings. Motions the receiver across the formation, and that is Miles Dixon lining up in the backfield. Sprint right, throws over to Dixon to the far-hand side. Dixon stays on his feet, but wasn't able to keep the balance. A gain of 1. 3rd down now as the clock counts down inside of 10:45 to play in this 4th quarter. Tremaine Mozique, number 34, makes the tackle, the freshman from Hayward. A 3-sport athlete in high school, track, football, and wrestling. Athletic enough to play outside linebacker and wide receiver back in high school. And now on 3rd and long, Sanders will stand tall in the pocket, and it was thrown to the left hip of Keikoa Lagarpa Barcinas, and the 1st down for the Vikings there. The coverage was ever so slightly behind, as it was Tony Hamilton the 3rd, and Sanders just trusting his offensive line stands tall. So now the ball will be spotted down at the 44-yard line of the Vikings. And the lineup 12 personnel with Wade in the backfield, dotting that pistol. Sanders steps up, firing downfield, and overthrows everything. A miscommunication between Sanders and Jake Calcagno. And the ball harmlessly drops into the dirt 5 yards away from anybody at the 20. Coach Collins calling the play to his sophomore quarterback. A tall body at 6'5", 215. The former James Logan quarterback. A first-team NVAL WCC winner back in high school and a league champion over at James Logan. And if there are any Logan players listening to this broadcast tonight, I will tell you, you have the worst field in all of football with that AstroTurf. Too many turf burns playing during my time at Berkeley High on that field. Jason Wade, number 6 for a gain of 6. I don't know if they still have it, but James Logan, one of the biggest schools in California, and man, their field just hurts to play on. I don't know how those greatest teams on turf played on that surface. Ball spotted down at midfield, 3rd down and 4 inside of 90 minutes to play. Marcus Sanders was able to convert on 3rd and 8 last time, and now he has a 3rd down and 4. Tight end motions across, lining up at the left-hand side, and maybe a false start on the Vikings here. One of the defensive linemen jumped, and it's a false start as they were reacting to the offensive lineman. So after that, it'll be a 3rd down and 9. So a similar situation to what we saw last time around. Vikings have the ball move back into their own side of the field, shading the V of the midfield logo. Tight end off the right-hand side. Same motion across the formation. Slow snap, Sanders handles. Deals it to the near side. Caught right at the sticks and fighting for more. Reversed the field a little too far was Keikoa Lagarpa Barcinas, and he would have had the 1st down if he just stuck with it, but because he tried to get more yardage, it actually dropped for a 2-yard loss after the initial spot on the catch. So the Vikings now have an interesting decision to make. 4th down and 2 here from the 48-yard line of Laney College, and it looks like the offense stays on the field. Sanders needs to sprint over into the huddle to get the play call in with 17 seconds remaining, and the Vikings will go for it here. Jason Wade is in the backfield, and the Vikings will line up in the trips formation. From the near hash mark, it's Marcus Sanders. Sanders out of the gun, looking towards the near sideline. 5 seconds left, needs to get the play off in time. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, gets it off just in time. It's a quick pass, it's lofted, and it's Keikoa Barcinas. Lagarpa Barcinas with another pickup for a 1st down. So made up the woes, got a 7-yard catch for the 1st down. Man, what a heck of a name. Lagarpa Barcinas. Gray-shirted over at City College of San Francisco, a former first-team All-League receiver in high school. He ran the 400 and also played football. And it was 28 making the tackle at the end. It was Solomon Lolohie. I believe it's Solomone. 1st down and 10 now for the Vikings. A 3-step drop. Goes through his reads, and it looked like a wrestling match on the near-hand side as Bryce Heckard got all wrapped up with Jake Calcagno. And I believe Calcagno will have slipped on the play, and that's why it looked like they were doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu on that sideline. So the clock stops at the 6:47 mark, and it's 35-0 for the Vikings still. Getting some burn for their sophomore quarterback in Marcus Sanders. Yet on 2nd down and 10 from the Laney College 40. A tight bunch to the near-hand side of the field from the far hash mark, just inside a shade of the hash. And it's a screen pass tipped up in the air, nearly intercepted. The 3rd time tonight a screen pass has been tipped. And that is big number 9-6 inside. Hikifo'u Miley Jr. Vikings were able to convert on a 4th down and short after a pass was successful. Should have gone for a 1st down, but was only an 8-yard gain in a situation like this just moments ago. And the Vikings are really testing their 3rd down offense here. 3rd down and 10. They'll run it this time. Jason Wade carrying one defender back to the line of scrimmage. Marlon Purfoy makes the read, and the Vikings will elect to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down. 4th down and 10 from the 40 in a situation where you're up 35-0 with 6:17 in the 4th. Why not? I think maybe a hard count. I think they're going to actually take this one down. 10 seconds left on the clock. The Vikings will just put on a show here, taking all the way down and likely going to hold Oh, no, they do snap it. Wow. Go route towards the near sideline. And it's, no, nearly brought in. The intended receiver was Cade Young as the go route was thrown a little too far behind him. It was in the hands of Cade Young, but wasn't able to bring it in. I'm very surprised that they actually ended up snapping the ball there with 1 second left. I would have thought they would have ran it down, took in the delay of game, and given JJ a little more space to punt, but instead the turnover on downs for the Vikings. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the first turnover of the game for the Vikings, who have been so turnover prone the last few weeks. Fumbling has been a massive problem. But tonight, a clean sweep of the slate, up to this point, I should say. Quick slant across the middle. And it's Jerry Ruffin with a gain of 7 on the play. Tackle made by number 51. And that is Jamil Shelby, the freshman linebacker out of McClymonds. Vikings sending a lot of reserves here in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 3 from the 47-yard line of the Eagles. A 3-step drop and a pass into the flats. It's caught for a first down. It was brought in at the 44-yard line, 46-yard line, and an additional 5 after the play. Cho Sanders with another first down pickup. And the tackle made at the end of the play by Montrell Smith. Montrell Smith, the freshman defensive back, out of McClymonds as well. A bunch of different Oakland players scattered across the two teams playing on the field here in this Causeway Clash. 4:50. And it's ticking down. Bunch formation to the near-hand side, and the motion J.P. Zamora to the inside. The pass goes to Zamora as Zamora over the shoulder makes the catch at the 40, run down to the 44-yard line. Escorted out of bounds by Malik Viewins after a pickup of 7. J.P. Zamora is a really interesting story. A pretty highly regarded quarterback coming out of high school, a 3-star recruit, had offers to Utah, Nevada, and then something happened alongside that process that got him to walk on over at Washington State. Took a redshirt year over there before coming to Laney College, and in a situation where they were having issues at wide receiver, just a very terrific human being saying, hey, I'll step in at that position now. A rush to the right-hand side, and Ruffin is taken down by number 50. Tyler Davis, the sophomore defensive lineman, gets the sack, forcing a 3rd down. A 4-yard loss on the play. Finishing my point there, but yeah, Zamora is just a really interesting talent. Talking to Robert Crowley, he said he could definitely be a Division I wide receiver. Standing tall, plenty of time. Now he's going to run for it. Ruffin right at the line of scrimmage will whip a ball to the 22. And they will say it is good. Jeremiah Ruffin was the receiver at the end of the play. I believe that was a gain of 14 on the play. No, actually, that was a tackle made by number 14, Anton Moreau. Timeout taken on the field. And let me finish this point about Anton Moreau. He was actually at Laney College in 2022. Took a redshirt year at DVC last year. Came into the year with offers from Western Kentucky and Texas State. The redshirt sophomore out of Oakland Tech. 6'4", 205. A terrific athlete. So with that, we'll take a timeout and be back on the other side of the break here on DVC Vikings Live. Back here on the field, and it'll be a 1st down and 10. A timeout taken by Laney College to stop the clock at 3:11. Trying to break the goose egg open here as they trail 35-0. Quick pass, and it's in front of any intended receiver. Let's say the intended receiver was number 15, Samaje Featherstone. Vikings have done a tremendous job to keep Samaje Featherstone quiet. He was a 3-star running back in high school, had offers to Army and Florida Atlantic. Also runs an 11.47 in the 100-meter. And Samaje, instead of going to Army, and honestly, I can understand that lifestyle is a lot different, and you got to give, I believe, 10 years after you graduate to the armed forces if you go there. So decides to go over to Laney College. And just standing like a statue in that backfield until he has to run. Now rough and reverse is now a holding call as it's an incomplete pass thrown into the legs of the intended receiver, Simeon Milan. This one has holding written all over it. The holding is called on the right guard, Adrian Van Hoos. Had the ball thrown into his backside earlier this game. So it's a 10-yard penalty that'll bring up a 2nd down and 20 now. Out to the 32-yard line with 3:02 remaining in the 4th. So as the ball marches backwards, let's see what Coach Hag, the offensive coordinator, has in store for this Laney unit. Second down and 20, 3:02 remaining, 4 seconds left on the play clock. Milan sent into the flat. And they'll go with the screen pass that was perfectly read. Anton Moreau getting a huge round of applause from our coaching staff to our left. The reads have been perfect for the Vikings there. They dotted their I's and crossed their T's this week in the screen game defense. Samaje Featherstone dropped for a loss of 2 on the play, and the clock will run. Have to take one more snap before the 2-minute timeout. And the Vikings will play a deep defense here. A little bit of prevent look with the picket fence. Another flag. And a thrown late, and oh my goodness! Keemon Brown didn't care if there was a flag on the field. He just wanted contact, nearly caught a body. KB has been making plays all night long. But the flag will move Laney College back. But the Vikings most likely going to just decline this one because it's already 3rd and 22. Whitecap working this one out. Everybody's standing at the original line of scrimmage at the 35. As the Vikings will send a late substitution in. Big number 7-5 checking in for the DVC Vikings, and that is Cody Kopfelt-Watson. He's actually listed as an offensive lineman, and Cody coming down to play some DT. Hey, O-line, D-line, switch it up. He played defensive tackle for the Vikings last year before moving to offensive line, so it's not too far out. But it's nice to see big number 7-5 clog up that middle. And so now with 2:15 on the clock, it's 4th down and an eternity, and it's a pass caught by JP Zamora, and Zamora will get a big gain on the play for a 14-yard catch, but I mean, that's what the Vikings will let you. You play prevent over the top, you get a tackle for loss. And the tackle was made by Malik Viewins after everything was gone, but a turnover on downs, so the Vikings get the stop. So with that, the Vikings offense comes back out, and Coach Collins is coaching to the top of his lungs still, and that's one thing you gotta love with Jimmy Collins, it doesn't matter the situation. The Vikings were up by nearly 60 points against Feather River College, and Coach Collins was calling it like it was a one-score game. It doesn't matter. He's going to coach you as hard as possible every single moment. Marcus Sanders standing tall. The go route down the far sideline, a little underthrown. The intended receiver on the play was, let's try to see, number 80, I think it was 88 or 82. It's either Peyton Harbin or Amani Elfadil. Instead, it's 86, Bracken O'Neill. Or, pardon me, that's actually the wrong roster. But instead, an incomplete pass and now a handoff. Working that left side of the line on 2nd down and 10. And the play clock will stop at 1:54 for the 2-minute timeout. Amani Holiday comes in these late moments to get the carry. And that'll send us to the 2-minute timeout. We'll actually keep it here for this 2-minute timeout, though, because I want to talk about a few things here. Head coach John Beam, a longtime legend in the sport at the JC level. I'm sure a lot of people saw him on Last Chance U, the year that Laney College was able to get over the top and end up winning the championship. A few different players, or a few different coaches on this. I believe it's actually only one coach on the coaching staff for DVC was on that staff as well. But Coach Beam, love him or hate him, you got to show all the respect in the world for the longtime athletic director at Laney College, as well as the head coach for the Laney College Eagles for oh so many years. My cap is off to you, Coach Beam. Salute. After the 2-minute timeout, the Vikings will face a 3rd down and 7. Still leading 35-0 here. Trying to close this one out in a shutout. Single high safety look, man-to-man coverage across the board. Sanders firing over the top, incomplete. The intended receiver on the play was Kevin Malinik. And the defender on the play was number 4 for the Eagles, Tony Hamilton III. And on 4th down, JJ will punt it away. Deep return man is Davion Sanders. And the clock stops with the incomplete pass, so at the 150 mark, the Vikings snap it. Held well, and oh, it's blocked! The ball spotted down to the 1-yard line, rolls in, and it's in for a touchdown! Pressure was getting there all night long. The snap took a little too long to get there. A man flies in to make the block, and you hear that thud, and the goose egg has been broken on special teams. The first score for Laney College comes by the way of a punt block. Demarius Hammonds brought the pressure off the edge for the Laney Eagles. They've done so many times tonight. And a touchdown score now for the Eagles on the scoop and score. The kicker is number 91, Billy Hewitt. First time we're seeing Hewitt tonight in kicking duties. Snap is off, the hold is down, and the low long drive kick is good. And it's the first score for the Eagles inside of 2 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. 35-7 our score here with 1:44 remaining. Send the pressure, get home. Everybody knew it was coming, but sometimes you can't stop it. With the offense having its flashes in the pan, but ultimately not able to result in anything, leave it to special teams to make a special play. Coach Collins talking to his kickoff unit. And the DVC return team will line out, shot out onto the field. A change-up in return men for the Vikings here. So it's going to be Montrell Smith alongside number 23. That's Ray Flood. So Ray Flood and Montrell Smith, the two defensive backs, out onto the field. And instead, it's an onside kick. Maybe the Vikings need to go over there and call a timeout, and Collins will call the timeout. No, it's not. I heard a whistle, and the low line drive onside kick will be fielded down by number 84 for the Vikings. That's Stephen Henry II. Stephen Henry II with 4 or 5 different first downs tonight. And so, Vikings will send their offense out for the last time in this dominant victory. The scoring went the way of an 80-yard touchdown drive, so the Vikings started out with 2 3-and-outs, and then it was capped off by a 30-yard Ferrari Miller touchdown. On the second drive, the Vikings drove all the way down inside of the field, and Ferrari Miller showed his power on the goal line. It was a 2-yard rushing touchdown, and now a toss out to Jason Wade. Jason Wade with space out to the 40, turning the corner as he lowers his shoulder into Gavin O'Leary, who makes the tackle, but a first down for the Vikings, and this will allow them to take some knees and bring this one out. But getting back to my point, first 2 touchdowns were to Miller, and the third one, he said, hey, why not make it a hat trick? 54 yards. Miller found a hole, took it all the way down, and got the touchdown. And the Vikings, instead of taking a knee, will keep running it. And Jason Wade will take the carry forward past the 30-yard line out to the 29-yard line for a gain of 4. So after that 54-yard touchdown by Miller on the third score of the day, it was Jake Calcagno on a 17-yard reception, the only passing touchdown of the day for Isaiah Newton, who got the start today. And then the 5th touchdown was an 81-yard rush by Isaiah Newton as he just dusted the defense and said, hey, I can do it myself. Wade with another carry, and Wade springs free, but the turf monster caught him inside of the 20, down to the 17. Vikings are going to want to keep running this one out. When I said love him or hate him, I meant it. Inside of 28 seconds, Vikings running the hurry up. Another handoff. Jason Wade cuts it up on the near hash mark, spinning down to the 8-yard line. Enough for the first down. That stops the clock with 16 seconds left as they move the chains, and they'll actually say this one will be brought down a yard short. Hurrying to the ball. Vikings going to play every single second of this one. Jason Wade, another handoff. The jump cut inside of the 5-yard line. 3 seconds left. I don't think the Vikings are going to take a timeout. 28 makes the tackle. Solomon Lolohe, and that will bring us to zeros on the clock. An exciting end to the play as Jason Wade on sophomore night gets up plenty of carries down inside of the red zone. But the Vikings end up getting the win after everything. 35-7, a late burst inside of 2 minutes was a blocked punt for a touchdown, capped off by the Billy Hewitt PAT. But that brings an end to this edition of the Causeway Clash. What a fun one if you're a Vikings fan. On the other side, gotta just wipe the slate clean, learn from it, and move on to another day. DVC will go out to San Francisco City College to try to earn a bowl game here at home as they advance to 5-4 and 2-2 in Big 8, or Base 6 play, I should say. Laney College will drop down to 3-6 on the year and 1-3 in Base 6 play. And that'll bring us to an end. Laney College takes on College of San Mateo at home to cap off their regular season on their sophomore night. And until next time, hopefully another bowl game is in store for the Vikings, but they got one game to try to do their best to bring one here and to possibly bring home a trophy at the end of it all. But if I don't see you guys again next time, it's been another terrific year. Thank you so much to everybody who's helped out this year. My name's Max Agrest, signing off for potentially one last time here, and we'll be back on DVC Vikings Live, or at least I will, back in January when Big 8 play opens up. I'll be taking my talents to the hardwood floor and bringing you guys the action. And so, with that, thank you all so much, and as always, horns up.